Ja, herzlich willkommen auch von
A
meiner
warm
Seite.
welcome on my part as well. I am Rolf Lanz and I'm the product manager of the 6000 series at LEGIC. I'm from the region of Bern and it took me a long time to learn proper standard German, but I'm going to speak standard German rather than Bernese dialect. I'm happy to talk to you about LEGIC custom code. Sven already mentioned it in his introduction. Custom code is not completely new, but we keep developing it and there will be more and more use cases. Over the next 10 minutes or so, I'd like to explain to you how custom code works.
Erzähle ich, wie Custom Code funktioniert, wann man es nutzen sollte.
I'll also tell you when it should be used, what the development cycle looks like, and in closing, I'd like to show you two successful use cases.
Custom Code läuft auf dem Security Module
Custom code is based on the security module SM6310 and offers the same functionalities as the SM6300 security module. On both modules, we have the same OS 50 running.
Beide Module unterstützen alle
Both modules support all relevant RFID standards. They are compatible with LEGIC Prime, Advant and Neon and will be configured with MTSC and LEGIC Orbit. Thanks to the secure element and CCEAL Plus safety standard, they comply with the highest security standards. So much for the commercial. But what is the custom code in the first place? Let me put it in simple terms. We replace the hardware interface with a software interface.
Das hat, sag mal, zwei Vorteile.
And there are two advantages to this replacement. We can do without the controller. In LEGIC terms, it would be the host CPU. And the second advantage is that communication runs more quickly because there is no serial transmission of data, but via software. The program we call host application runs in the secure element and is additionally protected against hacker attacks or attempts to copy the information. Now the question, of course, now is, when does it make sense to use custom code? When is custom code superior to the conventional solution? There are three reasons. First of all, to save space, because we no longer have a CPU. As a result, less energy is required, less power, and this is the ideal solution for a one-chip reader, battery-operated. And the third advantage is that in addition to the OS 50 commands, cryptographic functions can also be used. Two updates I'd like to mention here at this stage: the memory for data in the download area, 512 KB flash for data in download area, a universal flash memory, and you can only access it with custom code. The second feature is not just available in the 6310, but also in the 6300, is Bluetooth Wake Up. And I think this feature makes particular sense with a single chip reader which is battery operated. Now, many are probably wondering, how do you develop custom code? LEGIC helps with a development kit, which is basically an out-of-the-box solution, just a short instruction manual, and you can get it running. In principle, it's not different from a standard. Sorry, I misspoke. Let me correct. Let me tell you what the box includes. The development kit, obviously, which is made up of the custom code emulator, which is hardware running the custom code. This hardware is connected to a standard evaluation board. This is something you should be used to. for example, EVB 6310, in the kit there is a second evaluation board for the run version, not connected via cable. That's the content of the kit. Of course, cables are included as well, obviously, so that it's possible to use it immediately. Now, what is interesting is the question of how do we develop custom code. First of all, this is not fundamentally different from any other embedded software development. You have a framework, or as we call it typically is the workbench. LEGIC recommends the IOR workbench to write the code, to perform the debugging, single step, download into target. The target can be our evaluation board, but it could also be your actual hardware. You don't need a trusted service account for this, and you don't need an internet connection either. This is a standalone solution. Developer can program it in the basement. Once everything is up and running, and if you'd like to see a demo version or actually see the code running on the actual hardware, this can be uploaded, the program can be uploaded to the custom code. It will be fully encrypted to make it completely secure, and it will then be made available via Orbit VCP as a file to be transferred. It can be transmitted via cable with your tool you use for OS updates, or with the LEGIC flasher you can get from us for free. In parallel to the cable-based solution, it's possible also to use a Bluetooth solution to bring the code to the target. This is the third step from a programming standpoint. I said I was also going to talk about two use cases where custom code was used, and the one example I'd like to mention is with a company called Intellicom. They presented last year at connect23. They developed a module you can see in the top right corner. This module is installed into the loading station of Hardibart. They are represented here as well. Both of them actually have an exhibition stand. So if you have any detailed questions, please address the questions to the colleagues there at the stands. Why was it successful for us? We identified together with Carsten Ziermann that for the VD norm, an algorithm is used which we didn't have. It's called BrainPool. We were able to integrate this algorithm very quickly into our OS and released a new OS, gave it to Carsten Ziermann, and within a few hours only he was able to come up with a final solution, so that also for this the law that is required here, the chipset, the data sets can be signed with a hash. This OEM module can also be used in different use cases. So just speak to Carsten Ziermann and he can tell you all about it. Well, this is a point I mentioned earlier. You can use the cryptographic functions in a very general way with custom code, and this is the area where we believe we can integrate future functionalities. A second use case where custom code is being used is the Skyra key system. Skyra is a key system where the energy isn't in the lock, there's a battery-free lock, but the energy actually comes from the key. In just a minute, we will hear from Alfred Aschmann from Dormakaba to explain the product to you in more detail, because I'm not the expert here. That's it from my side. Thank you very much. If there are no questions, and if Alfred Aschmann is up and ready, we can just continue smoothly.